So I was just unpacking from a shoot the other day. I did want to mention a shoot that I did with the DZO Arcana anamorphic lenses and the Viltrox autofocus adapter PLE Pro. And so this adapter just adapts PL lenses to the Sony E-mount system. And I want to mention my experience with this. The autofocus did work very well for the shoot. It is not as fast as native autofocus, but it is quite good. It'll pick up and track and do all of those things, touch to focus through the system. So that works extremely well. Did I wish it had internal VND on this back portion? Yeah, sure, but it doesn't, so I use the Nisi JetMag Pro system here. The calibration was a little bit finicky, and there's a way to do it, which also includes playing around with this left and right button here. And you'd think normally the way that this is left, right is right from the viewpoint of the viewfinder or screen, which doesn't seem to be the case in for this, because right now it's on the right. So you'd think that would be looking at the camera from this way. Anyway, the calibration does have some issues in the beginning, and the first lens took me about 2 hours to try and figure out how to calibrate it appropriately. But once I did figure that out, and they give you very little documentation. Once I did figure it out, every other lens was 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. But this is a great autofocus system, and it's better than the Tilta one that I also looked at. The other thing that I wanted to mention, specifically to the FX line, I believe on all the FX line, or all Sony cameras most likely, is that if you have an anamorphic support like the FX3A does have, you cannot use the anamorphic D-squeeze monitoring wise in camera and the autofocus system. You can either use one or the other. So to work around that, I basically set up the D-squeeze, conduct my composition, make sure that I like the way that it looks, and then after that, I'll turn the anamorphic D-squeeze in camera off, and then the AF will start working with the D-squeeze off. Because you can also D-squeeze your footage in post just to understand the composition. That's why I turned it on. Now, that might be a caveat for some people in fast running gun situations. It's not for me, even though I do the fastest thing that I film is probably Taekwondo, which I haven't fully tried that out on with this system. But for any kind of interviews or slower moving, walking, that type of stuff, possibly even running, it'll work fine. With touch to focus, tracking, autofocus, works great. So I would highly recommend this if that is your type of use case too. And it's not so large, right? As you can see, it's not huge. I was just taking off the cables, but there's only 2 cables that go into here. One goes into the adapter, and then one goes into battery backup or wherever you have your power. And it's all via USB-C. So that works really well. And it's a nice compact solution that you can take. I could sit here with one hand and just be filming, and it's fine. So just a quick review on this, just in case anybody's wondering. If you have any questions, let me know.